The knight who buried his sword in a world rewritten by memory, legend, and lost chances. We explore the alternate truths of our past. We ask what could have been to understand what still can be. What if? What now? This is Stories in the Old. Before he became a saint, before pilgrims whispered his name, there was only a man, a reckless one. Saint Galgano was not born holy. He was born into power, raised as a knight, trained to fight, to conquer, to take what he wanted. And he did. Gold, women, glory. He chased them all like a man trying to outrun silence. But silence has a way of catching up. One night, the noise stopped. No laughter, no clashing steel, only a voice, a vision clearer than any battlefield he had ever seen. It was said to be Archangel Michael, calling him not to war, but to surrender, to leave everything behind, to become nothing. Galgano laughed. Of course he did. Men like him don't just walk away. He mocked the vision, ignored it, drowned it in the same pleasures he always ran to. But the voice returned, again and again, not louder, just undeniable, frustrated, angry, on the edge of something he didn't understand. Galgano rode out alone, no armor, no audience, just a man and his thoughts. He shouted into the emptiness, "Changing my life is impossible, like splitting a rock with a sword." And then, in a moment that history would never forget, he drew his blade and drove it into stone. The sword did not shatter, it did not bend, it did not fall. It went in, deep, as if the earth itself accepted his surrender. That stone still rests today, not as a symbol of power, but of letting go. Galgano never pulled the sword out, because that was never the point. This was not a story of claiming destiny. This was a story of bearing the old one. He walked away from wealth, from status, from the life that once defined him, and chose silence, chose solitude, chose surrender. Years later, another story would rise, of a king and a sword and a stone, of destiny, power, and a throne. But look closer, and you'll see the difference. One man pulled the sword to become king. Galgano left it to become free. So here's the question, not for history, but for you. What are you still holding that you were meant to lay down? What sword in your life was never meant to be used again? The anger, the pride, the version of you that refuses to change? Because maybe the miracle was never the sword entering the stone. Maybe